Now in this, let us see how to calculate the power dissipation for two different size of inverters. So here we are showing the inverter based on NMOS actually. Then here we shown what is the W by L ratio. The W is nothing but width of the diffusion and L is the length of the silicon, not length of the silicon. It's supposed to be here written in front of the polysilicon actually. Length of the poly. Okay, this is length of the poly actually. So now here we can see in this figure what you can understand in the sense, see W. This is your diffusion. The width of the diffusion is how much? 2 lambda. This is your polysilicon. So width of the polysilicon how much here? In this is your 16 lambda. This will be your pull up. This is your pull down. Right. So in the pull down, the transistor size is what actually? In the pull down, it is 2 lambda cross 2 lambda. I hope you might have understood that, right? The pull down transistor size is 2 lambda cross 2 lambda, W into L. Then what about the size of pull up now? Here we'll say sometimes what will happen, or we'll study W cross L or L cross W. The previous landal we said the ratios are L colon W, something we said, right? So what you will do, so here W cross L or L cross W, that is left to us. So here let us say W cross L or L cross W, L colon W. Okay. If I say L colon W in the sense, now what is the length and width here? L colon W, that is L colon W. If I say L colon W, then this is nothing but 16 lambda cross 2 lambda. So here 2 lambda cross 2 lambda. This is nothing but this is 16 lambda cross 2 lambda is for your pull up. For pull down is 2 lambda cross 2 lambda. Now let us see what is the overall ratio. The overall ratio is nothing but ZPU by ZPD. So ZPU by ZPD is nothing but, as we know already. So once again, I need to say ZPU by ZPD is equal to what? LPU divided by, sorry, LPU colon WPU divided by LPD divided by WPD. What is this? The overall ratio is nothing but LPU colon WPU divided by LPD colon, yes, LPD colon WPD. Now you can say, now what is that LPU colon WPU? It is nothing but pull up transistor length and width, that is 16 colon 2 divided by, your denominator is 2 colon 2. Now what I will get now? My overall ratio is now, my overall ratio will be 16 colon 2, that is 16 by 2 by 2 by 2. It is nothing but 8:1. Correct? 8:1. That is the ratio of your, that is nothing but what? L colon W. This is the ratio, L colon W total. That is what here we written. You see this 8:1 NMOS inverter that represents this actually. So it has come from this way. So now let us see here. ZPU is equal to LPU by WPU. Correct? Is equal to 8 actually, because LPU is how much? 16. WPU is 2. So I'll get us 8. Next, what is RPU? The RPU is nothing but, I'll say one thing is ZPU is equal, because this is a transistor, sometimes pull up transistor. ZPU by ZPD is equal to, the one more also will be there. ZPU by ZPD is equal to R ratio only I'll write. ZPU colon ZPD is equal to RPU colon RPD. So this is the ratio actually. The pull up resistance to the pull down resistance. Now you can see what is RPU. RPU is equal to, from this you write RPU is equal to ZPU into RPD. Correct? That is RPU. RPU is nothing but what? ZPU is nothing but RPU is equal to ZPU into RPD. As we know, previously we done RPD is nothing but pull down resistance. I will take the that is RA, sheet resistance. This already we calculated. I hope you might remember. Here the Z value is 8. What is the resistance? That is the N channel resistance. RS, the pull down. The pull down is nothing but N channel resistance. The pull down is N channel resistance in the sense. What is the sheet resistance of N channel from the tabular column? It's supposed to be 10 kilo ohm actually. Correct. So now I can say the RP is equal to 8 into 10K will get as 80 kilo ohm. That is for your pull-up resistance. Similarly, you have to do for pull-down resistance. The pull-down resistance, nothing but what? RPD is equal to, same like similar formula, ZPD into RS, where ZPD is nothing but, what is ZPD now? ZPD is how much? It will be 1 actually. ZPD is 1, correct? Because 2 by 2, it is 1 into RS is 10 kilo ohm, will get us 1 into 10 kilo ohm. Now we need to find out the power dissipation. So what is the power dissipation normally? There is a two relationships are there. P is equal to VI. The another one is P is equal to I square. Yes, what is that? One is P is equal to VI is there. Next P is equal to V square by R also is there. Then P is equal to I square R. These are the relations we are having right here. Power dissipation we are using V square by R actually. So now this V square is nothing but VDD actually. This V square is nothing but what? It's supposed to be VDD actually. This V square. This is VDD divided by R actually. R in the sense here, you have to consider the both pull up and pull down. That is RPU plus RPD. Because both are in sheet resistance. This even you have to think this both the connection in series in connection. If I say pull up resistance plus the pull down resistance, the total power dissipation. This is actually PD is nothing but the total power dissipation is equal to V square by RPU plus RPD. So V square is VDD. VDD by RPU is nothing but how much? 80 kilo ohm plus RPD is how much? 10 kilo ohm. We need to know what is the value of V square, correct? The V square, the VD is nothing but 5 volt. You substitute that volt, 5 square is 25. 25 divided by this value will get us 0.28 milliwatt will get. The input capacitance normally is the standard input capacitance, how much? It is a 1 square Cg. Now, same, just we are saying the alternative 8:1 inverter here. What we did here, just here, we reduced this length of the polysilicon, we increased the W here. So let us write here, what is the, if I want to write us here, ZPD, right? This is ZPD. Let me write as ZPD. What is ZPD ratio here? ZPD is nothing but, the ratio was, it is LPD is to WPD actually. This is what the formula actually, as we know, right? ZPD is equal to LPD by WPD. That is length of the pull down transistor divided by width of the pull down transistor. That is pull down width. So now LPD is how much here? The less 2 colon width is how much? 4. This is actually, it is nothing but what? It is supposed to be what? 1 colon 2 actually, correct? 2:4 is nothing but 1 by 2. Now same the way here, what is that value here? This you can tell me, I think this will be like ZPU, right? ZPU is equal to LPU colon WPU. So now what I'll get? LPU is how much? 8 colon W is how much? 2. Correct? Same now what I'll get? 8:2. It is nothing but 4:1. You see this here, the ratio is like this. Okay, so this is the ratio. Now what I'm doing here, let us calculate the power dissipation for this. What happened? You see this. Now simple, we reduce the polysilicon by half instead of we increase the width actually. Correct? You see here, In the pull down, actually we increase the diffusion width, actually we increase to how much? 4 lambda. So you see this. This is what we need to see. We'll increase to 4 lambda actually. But thing is here 8 lambda actually instead of 16. So now in this, the same the way how we calculate here, in same way we have to calculate even here also. What will happen here? See this. What is the power dissipation you're getting? Same calculation. How we did, same the way you do here also. We'll get as 0.56 milliwatt. Whatever the input capacitance will be there, due to your W's get increases here, the standard gate capacitance will be, sorry, here the power dissipation is, as I said, 0.28 millivolt. The input capacitance 1 square Cg. Here you can see what happened your power dissipation. Here 0.28. This is what happened here. 0.56. It is doubled of this actually. The power dissipation is doubled due to this actually, due to increasing the width, not increasing the width, and at the same time what happened? Reduce the polysilicon as 8. So now this will be like the input capacity will be 2 times of your gate capacitance actually, because 1 times of a standard gate capacitance is 0.28 in the sense, then 2 times of a gate will be 0.56. Now if like say example, if you want to get as 4:1 inverter, even this also I mean say as is nothing but what 8:1 inverter only. Even this is also 8:1 inverter, even this also is 8:1 inverter only. I hope you know, right? How I did that 8:1 in the sense, a simple, this is 8 by 2, right? Length 8 by 2 divided by 2 by 4. If you do that, we'll get us 8:1. So now if you want to reduce that 8, if you want to deduce that 8:1 to 4:1, what you have to do in the sense, very simple, make this width of the diffusion as 2 lambda. If you make this width as 2 lambda, by default, automatically this the sizing of this or the scaling of this will become as 4:1. Simple. You can reduce that to 4:1. Here 8:1, 4:1. Then you check what is the power dissipation you are getting. You can cross check. This is what we can say how we can find out the power dissipation, or we can show the scaling 8:1, the alternative for 8:1. So always very important. Later we'll study how the scaling for this scaling W/L we have to calculate how. So that later we'll see how to achieve, because simple we can say for NMOS, if you take some standard, is this is a standard actually, right? 1:1 in the sense that how much we need in a pull-up transistor. So for that some kind of derivations and all will be there. So that and all later we'll see all those things. Now here 2 input NMOS NAND gate. Now in this 2 input NAND gate, this is a normal NAND gate. You can see here my 1:2, 1:2. Here this will be 4:1. You can see here. You may have doubt here the series and connection. As you know, the ratio is, this is nothing but 4:1 actually. The ratio is 4:1. How I'll get the ratio is 4:1 in the sense, simple, pull up the ratio divided by the sum of pull down ratio. That is what simple 4:1 divided by 1:2 plus 1:2. If you do that, we'll get a ratio 4:1. So that is equally we divided 1:2, 1:2 here. Okay. So now see, this is the monochrome notation. Now let us see how we'll get the transient delay. So for a NAND gate here, so let me say how it has to be, because it's already been declared. Now here, okay. Let me show. Okay. Now as you know, you have to think we are working on the active linear region. Okay. So now you think this is the resistor of pull up. It is always on, correct? Then this is the switch, then resistance, then one more switch, then resistance, then we are having this. My output is where This is my output actually. Here I will have the capacitance. Correct? No? Here we'll have the capacitance. This will be your V out. Okay. Now I'll take this is nothing but what? It is a RP actually. This is RP because pull up resistance, right? This what I will do in the sense RN1. Let me example because RN1 is resistance, right? This is I will take as RN2 or RA. Let me take instead of that what I will do. I will name it as with A and B only better. This is pull down resistance, that is N, right? A pull down resistance RNA. You can think like this RNA. Okay. For A, okay, let it be RN1 only. That is RN2. Now this is a switch, right? This is a switch actually. This is the switch. Because this is a switch, then I can say this is nothing but your A, this is B, this will be your CL, this will be your VDD, this is VSS, this is V out or as per SV out. Okay. Now you think in this resistance, each and every resistance here, it will have the input capacitance. The input capacitance will be like this. This is the input capacitance. See this? You can assume this is capacitance C in 1. This is capacitance C in 2. This is your CL. Now, when you're operating, you be very clear. This always, this is on. That is RP, the resistance. It is always on. Now you come back here. When there will be a direct path from VDD to VSS. If both A and B both are 1, then there will be a direct path from VDD to VSS. Okay. If any one input is high, the another one is low. Example, if it is low, what will happen? The same diagram. This is the open switch. Then this will say example, if my input, if I apply, the input is equal to A is equal to 1, B is equal to 0. If I apply, your diagram will becomes like what? Your pull-up transistor is this, then pull-down transistor will be this because on, right? If it is on means on, then straight away, see, because it is open switch, right? This is open switch. Then this will be your output, will have the one capacitance, output capacitance. Then this will be your VDD. This is your RT. Then this will be your RN1 actually. Correct? We have the, you think here, if it is on in the sense, we have one capacitance, that is your CN. You can see now how much the delay will be there here in the sense. Simple. I have to add this. If it is on in the sense, what I'll get? I will get the output of this only. There is no possibility of to direct. So I'll get this is RP into CL. This is the time delay when I give 1 0, because through this your this capacitance is completely charged, full of VDD actually. Correct. Now you make a assumption as if both the transistors are on. You should think what will be the if both the transistors are on. What will happen now? So example, instead of this is, if I make this is also 1. Now you think this both are on. If both the transistors are on in the sense, now it will look like what? Your final diagram will be, because this will get charged, right? Leave this portion, RP portion now. What will happen now? This will become as like this. This will become as like this. I hope you might have understood, right? See, this diagram will look like this actually, because both are on. So here one input capacitance will be there. Then here one input capacitance will be there. So will be like this. How we will get your time delay in the sense adding? You have to add these two resistance are in series. That is R1 plus R2 into, that is both our resistance are same, right? This resistance and resistance are same value only. Example, if you want to say it is Rn, right? Rn1 plus Rn2, that is R. I can say Rn1 plus Rn1 dot C1 plus Rn2 dot C2, because RC model, as I said, right? Then plus the output. Output is nothing but what? Actually, it is CLSA. Before that, again, one more R, because in between, see here, there is a common capacitance between these two nodes, right? You have to calculate this. So plus, or let me like, okay, plus CL. This is nothing but your TD actually. Like this, we will calculate, because no need to worry about that. Just like you should assume always, if the transistor is on, in the sense you should think this is the resistance. Always you think in that way, because we are not going to operate in a saturation region. We are operating in a linear region only. But this is the depletion transistor. If this is a depletion transistor, in the sense this is operating in a saturation region actually. In a saturation region only. So this is what like how we will see in terms of in the delays and all, just like explain. Actually, it is not there in your syllabus actually. See here in this portion, you see this, if both are one in the sense, you have to think this is nothing but your current source actually. It is not a, here I said as resistance, right? It can be a current source also, because it is, if it is operating in a resistive region, then it will be resistance. If it is operating in a saturation region, normally depletion mode transistor will operate in a saturation region. So here it is, saturation will be a current source actually. This will be your current source actually. So now what happened here, when both are one in the sense, so there is a direct path, like you have to think there will be a CL over there. This will get discharge actually, correct? This will get discharge. So when both A and B is equal to 1 means the transistors are on. The transistors are on in the sense will be like this, the resistance, this resistance. Normally each and every transistor will be denoted as like this. So if you are having a doubt in the sense, you can think like this. See, this is a one transistor. If I say, it will be look like this. See, switch, then resistor, then capacitor. This will be your B out. This will be your VSC. This is what your transistor. One transistor will look like this. See, each and every transistor will have one resistor, one capacitance. That is internal capacitance. One resistance, one internal capacitance. So when the transistor is on, means what? Like the amount of R and C. R and C. So we have to add what? How much R and C are there? Everything will add. Plus, finally, we have to add the last. That is your load resistance, load capacitance. If you are using or if you are implementing any circuitry using NMOS, there is no static power dissipation here, because there is no static power dissipation here. So now here, there's a capacitance here, CL. What will happen? So initially the capacitor charged completely full actually, right? So what will happen? Each and every transistor, as I said here, we should think like this only, right? Already as I said, so you should assume as it's a resistor. Actually, it's nothing but a resistor. So each and every resistor here will have the capacitance actually. Here same the way, even here also will have the one capacitance now here. So now what will happen in this? So if any one transistor also, if it is gets off, what will happen? It tries to discharge. The amount of voltage in the capacitor will not be full. It is not, it cannot be a VDD. Why? Because this transistor is on, this transistor is off. If only this is on, in the sense, what will happen? It will try to discharge actually. Correct? So automatically what I can say, there is a problem in the V out, but as we know, if this is a NAND gate, in the sense, if I give 1, 0, my output should be what? It should be, NAND is high. 1 I should get, that is VDD we have to get. But here, I won't get the complete VDD here, because due to what? Due to there will be a charge sharing. The charge will get shared with the input capacitance here. This input capacitance also will get charged. Then this will get start to discharge through this. While it is discharging, what happened here? Here there is a open switch here. When it gets open switch, automatically what will happen? So some amount of, very small amount, I can say, in terms of very less, not in very large in manner. That is the problem will occur. So, but is very important in the NMOS here. When it is in series in connection, when it will be discharged in the sun, when all the transistors are connected in series in connection only, then it will get discharged completely. There will be a direct path completely, right? That is the one thing in the NMOS. Next is, if you see CMOS. CMOS 2 input, already we studied. For CMOS 2 input here, how many transistors are required? 2n transistors are required. Then what about the ratio? You see the ratio for NMOS here, how much we used actually here. For NMOS, the ratio is what actually? It's supposed to be 1:2, 1:2. But you see here, 4:1. This ratio should be very, very large. Your pull up actually. Then only I'll get equal ratio I'll get. Right, what will be ratio I'll get now? If I go, this will become as 4:1 ratio. Now you go to CMOS actually. What will happen in CS now? So here, if the ratio is 1:2 here, say example, you take it like this, 1:2, this ratio is 1:2. Now what will happen here? Earlier only one NMOS was there. The ratio was what? 4:1 actually. But here what will happen? Here two are connected in parallel. When both are connected in parallel, what will happen? The ratio will get split up. So even here also, I will have what? 1:2. Here also 1:2. So now here, sorry, not 1:2. Sorry, this is also 4:1. Now example, let's say pull-up transistor, 4:1. So now this is what? Okay. Now 4:1 or 1:4? It's supposed to be 1:4. 1:4. Then only I'll get what? 4:1 inverted. W, if it is W colon L means 4:1. If it is L colon W means 1:4. That is left to us actually. Now you can see in this both are content. Now we can remember how this diagram will be there. Can you imagine how the diagram will be now? In terms of resistors and capacitors now, you can see this. This will be yes, PMOS, right? PMOS resistance. See here, how it will be in the sense? Resistance here, resistance, switch, then resistance, then switch, then here two resistors are connected, right? Here switch, then resistance and switch. Now your output is this. We'll have the one load capacitance here. Then this will be your V out. Now this will be connected to VDD. Now we can say this is your RP1. That is your pull-up transistor. This is, I can say, RP2. Now this I can say RN1. This I can say RN2. Now you have to see there is the internal capacitance also will be there. There is an internal capacitance. Where the internal capacitance will be there now? You have to think where. Simple. capacitance will be, the internal capacitance will be where? This is CL, correct? This is capacitance CL actually. Then internal capacitance is here, you see, here, here, then here, then here. All the MOSFETs will have one in resistance and the capacitance. These all are internal resistance. Now you see in this, when I give, this is an AND gate, right? When I apply 0, 1, example, when I apply 0, 1, what will happen? A equal to 0, B equal to 1. Or you think about when both are 0, 0, both are 1, 1. You see in that way. When both are 0, 0 in the sense, what will happen? When both are 0, 0, when both are 0, 0 means your PMOS will be on. So I can say this will be short circuited, correct? Short circuited. This both are open circuit. Now you can see here, two resistors here, both are connected in parallel in connection, correct? No? So it's supposed to be what? RP1 into RP2 divided by RP1 plus RP2 value resistance. You see this? But this is our series connection, RN1 plus R2, right? So that will be like RP1 into this capacitance value into RP2, this capacitance value, divided by RP1 capacitance, RP2 that capacitance plus the total capacitance value. That is what delay actually. Same the way, if I say both are 1, 1, what will happen? This will be open switch, correct? This will be both, the PMOSs are open switch, AB is 1, 1. Then what will happen? This will be on. So my circuit will become as what? When both are 1, NMOS, then this is my complete circuit, because here is open circuit. Now completely see, this is my circuit actually. You have to simplify this, we can calculate the delay. So in this way only the delays will be calculated. So this is for CMOS complementary ratio 4:1. This is already we studied the stick diagram and the layer diagram for NAND gate. No need to explain this. See here now, let us see requirement of LW. This is what I said, right? The requirement of out LW ratio for an N input NAND gate. See, this is nothing but your NMOS based. Okay, in the NMOS base here, this is our pull-up transistor. That is a pull-up impedance, we said pull-up. Then finally here, pull down. The pull down will have n number of transistors you can use. So if n number of inputs get increases, then how we are going to find out the LW ratio, L is to W, how much should be your pull-up? Because that is a very important, because as the number of inputs increases in the pull down transistor, then what about the ratio in the pull up? So now further what we'll do now, here you see this portion is complete nothing but N into ZPE, where N is nothing but number of input variable, or simple I can say what is ZPD? ZPD is nothing but LPD by WPD. So I can say N into, this is what this, right? It is nothing but what? N into LPD divided by WPD. This is the meaning of that actually. Then is the number of input variables. Okay. Okay. So now you'll see for an NMOS NAND gate, the output will be pulled down from VSS. This is already we know for NMOS, because always output will be pulled down from the VSS only when all are on. I can say it's approximately 0 volt only we can say. Now you think what will be your V out for NMOS normally? Approximately, because as we said, the NMOS pass transistor is good at passing in 0, correct? Is good at passing in 0 in the sense what I can say, the what are the values are less than this. That is why the equation I can write as V out is less than or equal to VT. Your V out will be less than or equal to VT. What is the VT? Already we know in generally what? 0.2 times of VDD. Now let us consider a VDD is equal to, you consider VDD is equal to 5 volt. If I consider VDD is equal to 5 volt, then what is the threshold voltage? VD is equal to 0.2 times of VDD. So 0.2 to 5, it's nothing but how much? It is 1 volt. So now I can say from here, V out is less than or equal to VT. It is equal to 0.2 volt in the sense. If it is VT is equal to 5 volt, means your V out is equal to or less than equal to 1 volt actually. That is the we get, right? We'll get output 1 volt will get. Now, how it can be in the sense that V out will be determined as VDD into, see here, VDD into n times of ZPD divided by n times of ZPD plus ZPU. This V out expression. This V out expression will be written as, it's nothing but simple, I can say, it's nothing but what? It is like, I can say your voltage divided rule is there, right? That only this actually, voltage divider rule. Actually, this is voltage divider rule. It's nothing but your VDD. This is your VDD. Then your resistance here. Then here one resistance here. You think this is your pull-up resistance. This is your pull-up resistance. This is your pull-down resistance. The pull-up resistance nothing but ZPU. The pull-down resistance is nothing but what? N pull-down resistance if I'm having N times of ZPD actually. Now, how we can find out the voltage across the pull-down resistance? How we can find out based on the voltage divider rule? Means this, correct? This divided by this and this multiply with the voltage. That is what this VD, that is N times of PD divided by N times of PD plus ZPU into VDD. That is what. So VD into less than or equal to 0.2 VDD, where ZPD applies for any one pull down transistor now. That is a pull down impedance will apply for any one pull down transistor. Then the boundary condition is like this. How it will be in the sense, like say example, here if you equate these two equation, VDD into NZPD divided by NZPD plus PU equal to 0.2 VDD, this VDD and this VDD will get cancelled. Then what will happen? NZPD by NZPD plus ZP is equal to 0.2 will get. So this is what the expression, the boundary condition of when, where NMOS NAND ratio is nothing but what? ZPU by ZPD is equal to 4 by 1. So how we'll get now simple example here is equal to example 2 input NAND gate. Example you consider, okay, 2 input NAND gate. If it is 2 input NAND gate, let me find out what will be your ratio we want to know. So we can find out N is equal to 2. Example you consider N is equal to 2. If N equal to 2. If N equal to 2, what will happen now? Substitute N equal to 2. So your formula will become as 2 into, what is the ZPD actually? ZPD is nothing but if you take any ratio I can take Z pull down, that is LPD by WPD. So earlier you took example 1:2, correct? So you take as 1:2. It's nothing but what? 1 divided by 2. 1:2 means. I hope you might have understood that, right? Then divided by what is again NZPD is what? 2 into 1 by 2 plus ZPU. What is the ZPU actually will be there? Normally ZPU is nothing but we took as how much? It is nothing but we can say 4 by 1, right? 4 by 1, I hope. Yes, it is 4 by 1. 4 by 1. 4 by 1. So now we can add this and you can find out the overall ratio. We may get as 4:1 will get. When you simplify 2 will get cancelled. Then here 2. What is nothing but what? Sorry, N is at PD. N is at PD in the sense we have to add. Sorry, I made a mistake here. We made a mistake here. Is it PU? Is N is at PD in the nothing but what? N is at PD is nothing but N is how many inputs? 2 inputs. So 2 times of 2 number of inputs of that. Yes, correct only. Yes, we done correct only then. Yes. So you can go for this. It'll be like 1 plus. So what is that? This will become as 1. Then this will become as 1 plus 4, 1, 2 by 2 plus 4 by 1. It's supposed to be not 4 by 1. It is 1 by 4, right? Sorry, this is 1 by 4. It's supposed to be 2 into 1 by 2 because L by W we are doing 1 by 4. You will get us around 1 by how much? 2 plus 2, 3 by 4, 1 by 1, that is 1 divided by 3 by 4, 4 by 3 will come. 4 by 3 in the sense, it's supposed to be 4 by 3 will becomes 1.5, we can say. Right? Normally 1.5, that will 1.5 or 4 by 3. 4 by 3 in the sense 0.2 will come. See, that is what we got. 4 by 3 will be equal to 0.2. See this? This is what? So now from this, you can say there's a ratio between ZPU. That is this ratio actually. What is this ratio specifies in the sense ZPU divided by N ZPU. In the sense, the sum of all the pull down impedance must be 4:1. So now here from this, the significant factor will be compared to the inverter. Now you compare this with your NMOS inverter. In this NMOS NAND gate area requirements. NMOS NAND gate area requirements. How much? Required to maintain the pull-up ratio if input increases. Then NMOS NAND gate delay. NMOS NAND gate delay, how much in be then the sense? Simple, it will be very, very easy to calculate. Say example, the tau NAND is equal to N times of tau inverter. Example, for one single inverter, it takes 0.2 nanosecond timings in the sense, then how much will be your, so example, you can say here like this will take. If one inverter delay is 0.2 nanosecond, example, if one inverter delay is 0.2 nanosecond, then the NAND gate delay is how much now? How much NAND gate means, say example, 3 input NAND, example. 3 input NAND gate, 3 is nothing but what? 3 times of your inverter. It's nothing but what? 0.6 nanosecond. It's very simple. Like this also we can, this is that is why very important. We can calculate in this way also. So that is what the requirement of L:W ratio for an N inputs. This is otherwise also already we discussed what we discussed in the sense how much the ratio should be your pull-up impedance, that is ZPU. How much in the sense like simple, you remember this you are already we discussed means the charging period and the discharging period must be equal. The charging period and discharging period must be equal in the sense you think this ratio and this ratio I should get as equal. That is very important. So in that way we have to design. That is why I can say if the pull down is 1:2, so that is a very simple. I can say pull down is 1:2 in the sense L by W. Then if it is a 2 transistor if I'm having in series in connection, both are 1:2 in the sense when I add these two 1/2 plus 1/2, then that will become as 1/4. Then your pull up must be 1:4. Then only if I take a ratio, the overall ratio, if I take what happened 1:4 divided by the sum of these two, I will get us 1:1. That's what this is equal ratio actually. So what they said in the sense here, this will be equal ratio. So your charging and discharging time will be equal. But sometimes what will happen, they may go for 4:1 or 1:4. They may go. Right, so sorry, this only. So in this way, we have to find out the ratios. See here, this is 2 input BiCMOS NAND gate here. Compared to your BiCMOS inverter, this is what little bit different, the diagram actually. Correct? The general structure which I given to you, for using that general structure only this NAND gate is drawn. You can, it's very, very simple here. You think this portion, you see this portion, completely your CMOS, correct? In the sense, This will be your PMOS array. This is your NMOS array. This is completely your CMOS network. Next, after that, what we did here? Next, here we are having what? One separate NMOS array. See this? You might have hope remember below that one NMOS array will come. Next, from this NMOS array, one additional one N transistor will be connected. This. See, seeing this diagram model, you will get confusions. Okay, so sometimes you may get. So better always what you will do, you take the general structure from this you draw. You won't get any confusions. First, you draw the CMOS inverter here. You see the connections. All the connections will be interconnected. So don't follow this. So you draw by yourself. You will get a clear picture. Then this CMOS circuit, the outputs drives the one BJT transistor. Next, the second thing is what? From your NMOS, right? That is your PMOS. Because as we know, this is your PMOS. This will be your NMOS. So the PMOS output will take it from here, correct? This will be drives the first BJT circuit. Then this NMOS drives the second BJT actually. That is what here we drawn. See this? Now you have to draw as per this. Then based on that we drawn the stick diagram. This is the symbolic diagram, not the stick diagram also. You see the symbolic diagram, you should have the practice. Already I said, already I given this as an assignment actually for you. So this is the symbolic diagram of your 2 input by CMOS NAND gate. You draw yourself, then you'll get the clear picture. Because this is already we discussed in the previous classes. Just you convert this to stick diagram. Then you can go for, this is the layout. This is the color by CMOS, the previously monochrome. So now see, all the diagram just we converted. Even this also, if you look, because hereafter we are going to see some complex layout diagrams only. So that is why in base, if you are very, very strong, then easily you can draw the layout diagram. Seeing the diagram, you will think something like you won't understand something. That is why instead of that, don't study anything from the book about the layout diagram. Just you draw by yourself. Then it will be easy for you to understand. Right? See this, the one transistor, this transistor. Right? See? So this BJT transistor, then this BJT transistor here. Then your this is see, then the color you can see clearly. This will be your CMOS circuit, as I said earlier. This portion, yes, CMOS. This portion is CMOS portion. Then, as I said earlier, one NMOS portion will come. See, this is what. So try yourself. This you have to draw. See here, as I said in the earlier class, either collector can come over there or collector you can put over there based on your interest. Because if I put the collector over there, you may think the connection may become difficult. That is why you can swap these two here. In the sense, you have to swap the complete one only. You just don't like here. It cannot be swapped here. In the layout, I'm telling, just you can swap for to make the connection in easy manner. For that, you can do that. Next is 2 input NMOS NOR gate. This is also we get. This is for NMOS, same here. You can see this. You can remember now in the NAND gate, for NAND gate, what was the for NAND gate, what was the ratio? 1:2. Then this also is 1:2 in the NAND because of series in connection. Correct? So here both are in parallel. Because both are in parallel in the sense, like say example, any one transistor also if it is on, then there will be a direct path from Vout to VSS. That is why only 1:1 ratio here. It is a parallel 1:1. Even this also is 1:1. That is why we need to go right. For series in connection, the ratio will be different. If you are going in parallel, the ratio will be different. You can see this. But then your pull up will be same actually. Pull up will never change. Only the pull down actually very important. When it is in series in connection, actually more number of transistors are there. The load will be very high. Because to charge from here to here, if the number of input variables get increases, what will happen? You will take a much more time to discharge. Very important is this actually, correct? As the number of inputs get increases in the NAND gate, what will happen? It will take much time to discharge because of more number of transistors, so it will take more delay to discharge. But what about here? This is all connected in parallel. So if this are connected in parallel, any one of the transistor also, if it is on, it will discharge. It will be very fast. So that is why here the width will be 1:1 actually. Equal ratio we used. Here 1:2 we used instead of that. So now we can see this NMOS monochrome notation. Same the way. See 2 in CMOS NOR gate. Same thing only even here also we have to use the ratios. Either we can use 4:1 or 8:1 also we can use the ratio here. So this is monochromatic. This also we studied in the monochromatic. Same even here also, how it will be like, so the structure will be now in this. So the structure will be like this, correct? Resistor, here also it will be resistor. Then here one resistor, here one resistor. So we'll have the VSS here. Then this will be your VDD. Then we'll have the output, right? So we'll have the output from, we'll take it from here. This is our output. We have the load capacitance here. Now this you can see, if any one transistor is on, say example, if I give both the 0, 1, if I give, what will happen? Say example, A is 0, B is 1. What will happen now? A is 0 and B is 1. A is 0 in the sense, this transistor will be on, correct? This transistor is on, then this is off, then B is on. Now we can see there is a direct path, very simple. So here we have one internal capacitance, then it is very, very easy. The delay will be very, very less actually. If it is in series connection, what will happen? RC plus RC plus RC, automatically what will happen? The delay is get increases. That is what we want to say. So now I can say that is why in your NAND actually, the PMOS will be in parallel, correct? No? In NAND, the PMOS will be in parallel. For NOR, the NMOS will be in parallel. Correct. So now what will happen when I use the same logic at a time? Actually, the timings will be how much the timing I'm getting for NAND in the NMOS, that is a discharging period. The same amount I will get for NOR gate in the PMOS actually. That is why we have to go for the ratio should be matched these two. That is very, very important. This is a 2-input CMOS P-well NOR gate. See, coloring of stick diagram. Then layout, the color layout actually this is of your NOR gate. This is also already we studied the same. Just to replace the each and every layer by geometric representation. So I insist everyone has to practice with the monochrome notation only. Next 2-input BiCMOS NOR gate. See this same the way I have to say here. What is this? Simple, I can say this will be your CMOS structure. Then this will be your NMOS array separately, because see this complete CMOS, this NMOS array, then additional one extra NMOS and same like previous diagram only we use corresponding stick diagram here. Then this is the respective layout, the NOR layout actually, same in the colorings. NOR stick diagram here we are showing. So I hope you have to, what you have to do in the sense, your work is, assignment is, already as I said, now I'm telling, assignment is what? I posted in the Google group also. Assignment is you have to draw the schematic and stick and layout diagram of BiCMOS, NAND and NOR gate. That is a question already given. Draw yourself in examination, they will ask. Especially these three important actually. So you should have the practice. So I given date also, that due date is there. Go through that, draw properly, use monochrome notation and specify the layer also. Draw neatly, because the day after tomorrow only is the last day to submit actually. So enough times are there. Do that work and upload in your assignment blog. Okay. Do you have any questions now till now?